In 1929, the British Empire was at its peak. They had the guns, the laws, and the global reach. But in southeastern Nigeria, they made a fatal mistake. They underestimated the power of a woman's sit-in. What started as a dispute over a census turned into a full-scale war involving 25,000 women. It wasn't fought with rifles, but with songs, dance, and a refusal to be silenced. This is the story of the ABA Women's Riot, or as the locals call it, Ogu Umunwanyi. To understand the riot, you have to understand the Warrant Chiefs. The British didn't understand the democratic, decentralized nature of the Igbo people. So they handpicked chiefs to rule on their behalf. These men were often corrupt, using their power to extort the villagers. Then came the rumor, the tax. The men were already being taxed, but in 1929, the British decided to count women, their goats, and their poultry. Everyone knew what a census meant. It meant more money out of their pockets. The inciting incident. On November 18, 1929, a man named Nwanyeruwa, an envoy of the Warrant Chief, walked into the compound of a woman named Nwanyeruwa in a loco. He told her to count her goats and people. Nwanyeruwa, sensing the coming oppression, snapped back. "Was your mother counted?" A scuffle broke out. Mark grabbed her by the throat. In that moment, he didn't just touch a woman. He touched the heart of a community. Nwanyeruwa went to the local marketplace and told her story. The news spread like wildfire through the palm oil network. Using palm fronds as a symbol of trouble and sisterhood, women from across the region converged. They used a traditional protest method called sitting on a man. To sit on a man. Thousands of women would surround his house or office. They would dance, sing satirical songs about his corruption, and follow him everywhere. It was psychological warfare. They demanded the caps of the Warrant Chiefs, the symbol of their British-given authority. By December, the protest had exploded. Over 25,000 women were now involved, targeting native courts and European factories in ABA, Owerri, and Calabar. The British were terrified. They didn't know how to handle a rebellion where there was no general to arrest. The leadership was collective. In ABA and Calabar, the colonial administration panicked. Despite the women being unarmed, carrying only sticks and palm fronds, the British troops opened fire. In one of the darkest days of Nigerian colonial history, over 50 women were killed and more than 50 others were wounded. The empire thought that by spilling blood, they would restore order. They were wrong. The British won the battle that day, but they lost the war. The outcry was so loud that the colonial government was forced to launch an inquiry. The result? The hated Warrant Chief system was scrapped. The plans to tax women were abandoned. Women were eventually appointed to the native courts. This wasn't just a riot. It was the first major challenge to British authority in West Africa. It paved the way for the independence movements that would follow decades later. The ABA Women's Riot reminds us that power doesn't always come from a gun. Sometimes it comes from the collective no of people who have had enough. Nwanyeruwa and her sisters didn't just fight for their money. They fought for their dignity. Next time you think you're too small to make a difference, remember the women of 1929. If you found this piece of history inspiring, hit the like button and subscribe to @Shadow Archive Vault. We step into the shadows of the past to pull the world's most powerful, forgotten history out of the dark. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the Warrant Chiefs got the justice they deserved? Or did they get off too easy? See you in the next file.